That is why you usually
Live
use.
streaming is on.
Hello, lovely stream. We are back. Oh, it's so nice. And we can if we used like if we had a caching routine in between, it would help with speed for one thing, and it would also mean that not everything has to be statically generated, or at least it's generated when it's changed and not the whole thing, like these, or that's how I understand the differences. If we don't use that, there is not so much benefit, but if we use these features and have like a middleware, that would be really cool for speed and in general saving things.
I think we don't need to worry about that. Ultimately, the difference with Next.js is it actually has a web server, so it actually generates the HTML pages on the fly, right?
Yeah.
It also statically renders them and all that. But I think whether we use Netlify or we use Next.js, it will both do that. So I think the considerations are around ease of use, performance, price, something like this.
Yeah, we should not worry about price. Both are like targeted to like price incrementally, so we will pay for what we use. And I'm not paying.
Nice. So for the sprint going forward, like Marco, Mitch, Lauren, what about like non-dev perspective on the future? I think we have 20 minutes left. If there's anything that needs to be put on the next sprint or whatever, this is the chance. To talk about that.
Yeah. While you were talking, I was cleaning up the board a little bit, created a couple of more new issues, and I added the design for new support page for the next sprint from my side, and also improving how we display the information about the project updates. So like project single page redesign and a new support page design is on my plate for the next sprint. That's all I can take for the next sprint regarding this. Other issues, I wouldn't touch on them, especially ones that are givebacks related. So I moved them back to the new issues, not in the backlog per se. And in the backlog, I left improving the project flow, created project flow, which is like a bigger piece, and that has dependencies on 2 other issues that are also in the backlog. So I'm considering working on those the sprint after this one. So yeah, that's my update. And please, if you moved issues to the sprint backlog and you were assigned to them, please add those issues to the current sprint so that we can filter those based on the sprint. And I'm going to do the same for mine right now. Hold on a second.
I probably confused things because I put the next sprint tag on so many issues that where I thought, oh, this is really important. This is not hard. Like Matteo can do it. And so like many of those are mine because I felt like we are missing sometimes new issues and they maybe stay longer.
Yeah, so the thing about this next sprint label is actually to prioritize before this call. So everybody just goes and adds a label to the issue that they're assigned to and they think they will be working on. And then during this call, we agree, okay, these issues will go to the sprint backlog. And once they're there, we actually remove that label. We don't need it anymore, right? So it's just for us. It's just for us, basically.
Yes, that's what I did. The only difference is I also used issues where I knew I wouldn't do it. But I just added them to things where I feel this is not really hard to do and it's important.
Yeah,
so to prioritize.
No worries. And I just added my 2 issues to this sprint. So that each issue that is in sprint backlog says sprint May 5th to May 19th. That's basically it from my side.
I have something. So the join page, the Giveth join page, really needs to be updated and changed. So I made some suggestions and just wanted Danny to review it, but then it needs a dev to go in and actually make the changes. It's right now it shows Element and it shows Telegram and all of the descriptions of everything are out to date. And I wanted to reorder the pieces in the footer and like take some of them out and then like update information on like the Galaxy Giveth page. So it would be awesome if we could fix this in the sprint, just because I think it's very confusing when people go to the site and then they end up at join and then there's like, it's just confusing. They're just not sent to the right places.
Yeah, I agree. These are very simple things. And I also, I wanted to rework this for a long time. I guess in the spirit of sentimentality, I left stuff there, but I did also post something in comms, so I will definitely do this during the next sprint, and we should maybe combine this with a wiki overhaul. I'm really looking for motivated Comstar people. Now that we have so many, that's nice.
I'm motivated to do that as well. It's bothering me.
Cool. Like, yeah, it's bothering me as well.
Black spot. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so
Yeah,
I'll give it that guy.
I'm here, Lauren, too, and yeah, let's catch up before next week, because I got to dip out for a few days next week, so I want to hack on that with you for sure.
Nice.
One more thing, I'm looking at the sprint backlog and all issues that are tagged for this sprint. We have 11 issues. If there are any more, please add them to this sprint. And one question for the issues that are in progress, are they? I mean, what's the status of those? I mean, I just don't think we should end up, working on things that are currently in progress, and then this sprint goes by, and we still have like issues in the sprint backlog that were meant to be done in this sprint, right? So,
Merlin, I think, I don't know if you knew, but nobody will move your issues. So you should use issues in the way that, like, if you're working on something right now, you should be assigned, and you should put it in progress. And once you advance that issue or close that issue, you should advance it down the sprint board, because I'm just seeing that in progress is full with Merlin's issues, and I'm pretty sure some of those are already done.
I move it. Sorry.
Don't worry. But it's just like one heads up that nobody will do it. Like if you and like to take a little shortcut, if you think it needs testing, put it like on develop. Like that's what happens when you this is, by the way, unclear. Like on develop and staging is a bit. I would say if you want developers to look at it, put it in on develop. If you want our testers to look at it, put it in staging. And if you think this was such a small change, like I just changed this one line of CSS, you can probably put it to done.
Yeah, I mean, on develop for me means that it's been merged to the develop branch, right? And that it's gone to the dev server, essentially. So that's something that's no longer in progress. It's finished, and it's been merged to dev. But I don't want a user to test it yet, because it's not on staging for testing.
So are you doing the merges from dev to staging?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I am doing them. Mm-hmm. I may not be the only person, but I have been doing a lot of them.
No, but that's good to have a process, like, because then we know, and because the person who does that should also then move the issues so they don't, so it gets reflected.
That sounds fair. Yeah. So for this current sprint, I'm going to do this after this call. All the stuff on develop, I'm going to move to staging. But in progress, I'm not going to touch. So if you have stuff in progress, then either move it to on develop or back into the sprint backlog.
Okay, I get it. I updated. It should be fine now.
And thanks for pointing that out, Marco.
So just during this conversation here, I was trying to dig up some more stuff. I noticed that there's 2 track calls for updated projects for donors and for project owners. And right now they don't do anything, and they capture like way too much stuff. And so Marco made a suggestion of like how we can notify project donors that the project's been updated. So maybe there's something there that can be worked so that those track calls actually start doing something useful.
I didn't fully understand what you're saying. So are you talking about segments events that are getting raised somehow in the system, and that
They're-
we should hook something on there to have an action, is it?
They're already in the impact graph.
Yep.
In the donation resolver, and so they're supposed to be sending something to Segment. They've never been triggered. I tried it right now to make a project update on staging, and it's broken. I think it's because we changed some stuff just now, trying to fix the other Segment things. So probably fix that error first, and then see if we can actually start capturing useful information, and then send it to Segment, and then notify people on the final end.
Do you want to create an issue for yourself for this? Cool.
Yeah, I'll start working on it. But just going back to Marco, like what each of us can be doing for the next sprint.
And yeah, I just want to quickly note here, I have been observing a few things that could be better or are actually buggy with updates. Because first of all, I don't think we are like if they would work, because they give the wrong date, they show today's date if I go there. This is something that like is very powerful and nobody uses it. So I think we have to expose it more, like show the latest update on the project description or something. And I'm just like saying, make an earmark. I put this in an issue here. But I also think that we should have a look at updates in general.
Could there be a global news feed or something?
Oh, yes. See, now we're talking. These things are very interesting, I think.
I mean, emails to donors and people who have hearts at a project is obvious, right? I guess that's what you're talking about, Mitch.
You're muted, Mitch.
I think I'm muted. There we go. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, that would be pretty low-hanging fruit and super steroidy, I would say.
Yeah, but right now it looks like I can't update my project at all on staging without getting an error. So like, that needs to be fixed first, and then the stuff after that.
Okay, can you log an issue and put it in the backlog at the top? Like,
yeah, I'll do it after this call. So. Yeah.
Okay, so generally speaking, like I'm going to merge the stuff from dev onto staging. Then we'll need user testing on staging, bug fixing of any issues before the sprint can go live. And at the same time, then or immediately afterwards, we'll be testing on dev, whatever dev is, whether it's dev.giveth or whether it's whatever, but testing the next JS app, right? But just to point out that we'll need user testing on staging, and I'll deploy that as soon as I can. So
to conclude that and sum up, we will do the testing as we have the current flow. In the meantime, I will make sure that we have some place where we can test next and work actually on it. I will decide myself if I go with a new repo, if I fork the old one or whatever, And I aim for this like within the next week, so we can. And I think the global goal is within this sprint to move to next, have a relatively bug-free experience, and then we go further.
Plus free bucks.
It's actually IDX,
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to mention it when Griff was there, but people are moving to IDX, which is also by the 3box team, which comes off 3box, is for profiles, but is leveraging Ceramic Network. And I've actually found it again because Matteo mentioned it somewhere in the issues around this. And it, even though Ceramic is new, it might be a very robust and cool thing. But just let's not tell Griff. We can do 3box as well. But I think the next thing.
I'm sure Griff will be happy if it's better than 3box.
I think if it works, he won't care what it is. If it does the same thing and it works,
yeah,
he'll be fine.
But is there a difference between 3box and IDX or?
Well, 3box is the difference is the backend, I think. That's how I understand it, that IDX is leveraging Ceramic Network to actually save that information you put in so it's more accessible. And 3box uses IPFS. I think that's the main difference. Like it's a layer between IPFS and whatever, like your profile solution. And the profile solution, one is called 3box, the other one is called IDX. I can post it.
Cool. Sounds interesting. Anything else?
Maybe it's called different. IDX is something else. Sorry.
If there's nothing else, I would love to know what ceramic is. Or do I need to go to the website?
Oh man, don't make me. Like, that was our only technical deep dive at MetaFest, and it was great. Like, the guy came on at like 12:30, and it reminded me of DEF CON. It was so hardcore. So if you really want to know what ceramic network is, I highly recommend this YouTube video where Joe from 3box and ceramic network actually goes deep and talks about proofs and how this whole thing can be on a chain. But ceramic is, let me read from the website. The ceramic network, the data web for open information, decentralized censorship-resistant network for managing mutable information on the open internet without databases or servers. So this is really the backbone where upon which other stuff is built, and something like an identity solution can leverage the ceramic network. It is called, and I'm confused. Yeah, it's using that for hooking. It's like linking the data, and the important things are censorship resistant. Like, you want the information to be changeable because you want to maybe change your profile image or your profile name, but you really want to be sure that you did it. That's the simple explanation.
Cool. I'm gonna look into it. I think it would be super great, like, at some point in the future, if the impact graph was not using a database, right? Somehow it was
I think
decentralized and distributed.
Yes, like that. I think this is exactly what you would use this for. I'm currently unsure about the state of IPFS that we're using, like to what extent are we using IPFS. But the biggest problem with these networks is data. So like size of data, as far as I know. So yeah, if you have but this works, this works also with, like, you can use ceramic in conjunction with IPFS with any database. I'll just post the links, and so you can go through them in Giveth Dev.
Thank you.
Right. So I have a question for the next migration or whatever. Should we start or keep the work that is currently developed using the new version of Next, or how should we proceed with the development or coding code? Because I'm not sure how fast should we have people testing on a stage with the latest of games and Merlin, because I know both of you have done some stuff that I didn't consider yet, because I took the branch in Friday, so everything you did after that and was not in development is not there already.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
It was hard to hear you there.
Okay.
Are you asking about the issues that have been worked on since you took the branch, or are you asking about user testing?
How should we proceed right now? If we should just work on top of the next version, or what should we do for people to be testing already the new stuff before I deploy?
Yeah, I mean, the plan that I thought we had is that we move what's on dev now to staging for user testing to put the previous sprint to live. But I didn't consider that all changes will need to be duplicated or cherry picked over to the Next.js app.
Cherry picked.
Well, that's something you could do with Git. You can cherry pick changes. It's a little bit complicated and a little tedious.
But you know, the interesting thing is, and this is actually a good argument for staying on the same fork, because you can do you can do a diff, and then you see, like, I mean, Matteo, I'm sorry, but you have to do it because you know it in and out now. If you manage to port the whole application in a few days to Next, you can cherry pick, like, but we should for sure cement the head we have now. So the head needs to stay. We cannot do more development on. We cannot push more to develop right now. We should take a break there. We should focus on testing and collecting the issues, and and then I think it's not too crazy because the code needs to stay the same. Like if Matteo had to refactor 90%, this wouldn't be live. So these changes might be very digestible. You just have to filter out the stuff that it thinks you want in there, but you don't want it because it's actually Gatsby. You know what I mean?
So I have an idea. We move from develop to staging and get people testing on staging, and we freeze the code on develop, and I start refactoring everything from develop to the new next version.
Yep. That's what I would say. And I, in the meantime, try to get the environment up so we have a dev environment for Next. Yeah, and I don't know, tomorrow or something.
And if we miss like a change, like if it goes missing, like we can always pull it out of Git later. But yeah, it's not ideal. But anyway, this is the world we live in.
I think it's not too bad, you know. We're really talking because, like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like most of the stuff lies in in the root pudding, like our root folder. This is where everything is different between Gatsby and Next. But if you look at the actual migrating Gatsby to Next, they have an excellent page. It's like laughably easy, and the hard part was done by Matteo because we use like 15 different Gatsby plugin, whatnot, you know, like specific things, and many things work.
Do they both have a sort? Okay, sorry.
No, sorry. The last thing I wanted to say, for example, and many things are the same. For example, link is a component that is in both frameworks. Which one is one of the heaviest used ones?
Sweet.
Go ahead.
No, it's cool. I just had a more granular question, and it's not important. Yeah, I remember over time now. Yeah.
Sorry, I need to run.
Yeah.
I will follow you on the chat, and have a nice day, everyone. See
You
ya.
too. Nice one.
Bye,
everybody.
Hi, Merlin.
Bye. Merlin's gone surfing now. I think we have a plan anyway. Now, like I think we have consensus on a plan, right?
He had everything on develop, but I can ask him later. So all your work, James and Kai, is either on a pull request or it's already on develop.
My work is on develop.
My work is on develop, and I saw Merlin heavily merging two yesterday, so I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
It's there.
So freeze code until tomorrow or until I finish.
Yeah. I would also say we halt development on develop. Like everybody heard it now. It's your then you have to merge it. Otherwise, Matteo will merge your stuff. And so, as soon as you are done, you will update your branch. I think you said you have a branch, and I will just fork the whole thing into a new repository. And this is really mainly for deployment reasons. And then I will just select this stage and make it the new branch and make it the new master. And we can, as soon as you put the stuff that's in develop now there, you merge it, we can resume development of, resume development. We can do everything at the same time. We should do testing. We should look at whatever, got lost, so to say. This might be a double sprint, so I don't think we will do many new features in this sprint, but I think that's okay and we'll benefit a lot from this.
Word. So if anybody has something that needs to go live from the sprint that's not in staging, please let me know. ASAP. Otherwise, I will assume that what's in develop now is going live for the previous sprint.
Yes.
Cool. Love you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Love you too. Cheers.
You guys are awesome. Woo!
Bye.
Big up yourself.